Hello,
How you
how you
going?
going? Yeah, good.
Tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so am I allowed to do like two takes of this? Because I
Yeah.
always mess this up the first time and it's like not smooth and sexy at all.
It's okay.
Um, but my name is Zaide. I am a visual artist slash painter based in West End, Meanjin, Brisbane. I have been practicing full time for maybe the last 3 years. Shortly after which I moved into the place I'm currently living in now with my housemate Alea, who I have run a few local art shows with. We've done group shows featuring other artists and a few smaller shows featuring our own works, which has been really fun and exciting. So, yeah, I would kind of just, yeah, I'm a visual artist, painter, slash
Curator.
curator, local show
Yeah.
runner. Yeah,
You did that awesome.
that went all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
you don't
cool,
need a
cool.
second take. Don't doubt yourself.
Okay, thank you. All right, you're right. I just got to back myself.
Yeah, you
I'm
just
just
gotta
being
back
silly.
yourself. Don't
Okay,
even
if
worry about
you,
it.
all right, I won't. I'm not worried anymore. If you think that was fine, we can just roll with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Okay. Cool.
So, can you tell us about your journey as a painter? How did you get
Mm-hmm.
started and who
Yep.
and what drew you to this form of art and also who,
Sure.
if you have
Sure.
anybody?
Yeah. 100%. I think like most artists, I was always kind of gravitated towards it as a kid, but in high school, kind of the big changing point for me was coming across the work of Ben Quilty, who is a Australian oil painter who works in this really kind of visceral textural style, which I kind of ended up drawing a lot of inspiration off. And I kind of tried to replicate that style of art in high school, thinking that it would be, I was kind of like, oh, like this looks easier. This looks easy enough, like I could give it a go painting with palette knives. And it wasn't. It was extremely difficult. And all the first paintings I did, just it was, kind of like sloppy, grey, sludgy mess. So it was something that I kind of just did for fun then, and then, you know, let go after leaving high school. And then when it got rekindled a few years ago, I was like, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm gonna try and master this kind of particular style of painting that I tried and kind of perceived myself failing at earlier in life. So yeah, Ben Quilty was definitely big inspiration early for me to begin painting with a palette knife, which is kind of my signature style, I guess you could say.
Yeah, nice.
Mm.
So I was actually at Lonely's Bar in West
Mm-hmm.
End,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw one of your works there,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was super beautiful. And obviously, I was like, "Oh my god, it reminds me of Ben Quilty." I mean, I
Mm.
feel like anybody who's an artist in Australia
Mm.
knows who Ben Quilty is. He's a
Exactly.
legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
and I didn't actually realize it was with palette knives that's how you do it. I thought
Yeah.
it was just by
Well,
hand.
what like with the little hands nudging and smearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny you say that because I have been doing more of that lately, just kind of painting with my hands. But that particular piece of Aaron, which is hanging in Lonely's, was done entirely with a palette knife, and a lot of my work has been done kind of exclusively with a palette knife. I've really been trying to push the bounds of what kind of shapes and shading and um, you know kind of grossly textural paintings I can make by lathering this paint on really thick with a palette knife. And it's only been recently that I've kind of realized, oh, there's other ways that I can put paint on the canvas. And so I've kind of been experimenting a little bit more lately with just even just using rags to kind of smudge and smear, and then also with my hands doing finger painting has been so much fun. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm, mm. But yeah, I really appreciate that though. Your first message to me about that painting and lonelies, I was like, oh, that's really nice. I'm glad that, you kind of just saw a piece of my work out and about and connected with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I certainly, you know how people are always like, oh, yeah, I could do that. Like, I never
Mm.
think that. And even
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
say it's like finger painting and stuff, it's like,
yeah.
guys, it's not just finger painting. It's like you have to
No,
wait for certain things to dry. And
exactly. Yeah, yeah. How you got to decide what colors to use, and even like really abstract art, which is what often attracts a lot of those comments of, oh well, I could do that, like, or really kind of like childlike art or simplified art, like that's difficult. I think that's one of the most difficult things, is like showing restraint and being like, I'm just going to use, three colors and lots of blocks and stick figures, or, big splotches of paint. It's like, how do you decide when to stop? And I think that's something a lot of artists, I know myself, definitely like really struggles with. I find I often will overwork my paintings. So yeah, that kind of, I don't know. It always makes me laugh. I go to galleries with friends sometimes, and they say that exact thing.
mm,
Mm.
yeah, I am literally experiencing that now that I'm playing with
Mm.
paint and like,
Yeah, yeah,
especially like spray paint and stuff.
yeah.
And I'll reach a point where I'm like, oh, that looks really good. And I'm like, oh, I'll just
Mm-hmm.
do this. And then I'm like,
Ooh,
oh, I think I might have fucked it.
I fucked it. Yeah, yeah. Just one stroke too far, and all of a sudden it ruins the whole thing. It throws the whole balance and composition. You're like, shit.
Yeah, it's so fucked. But it's
Yeah,
fun though, because then you learn like the
yeah,
limits and not to push it and like when to push
yeah,
it. And then when you
yeah,
come through
yeah,
with something, when you think you have fucked it and you play with it more, you're like, oh my God, this is so good.
yeah.
So have you always done art, or do you work in any other industries? Like you said that you kind of came back to doing this style.
Yeah, no, I kind of took a long time off between high school. Well, a long time. It was, maybe 7 or 8 years. Well, it was 7 years. I went to uni and I studied a degree and, did the thing you were meant to do to get a job. And at the end of it, I was like, nah, I don't really I don't really want to do that. I'd already kind of rediscovered painting in that time, and things had just started happening in that regard. And it started seeming like I could maybe make a bit of a career out of it. So I decided to roll with it at that point.
Hmm. Have you been to
Mm.
art school or anything?
No, I haven't been to art school.
Me
I've been
neither.
oh, no way. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, non-art school friends. I've
Yeah.
been I've been considering it. Hey, I can see the value in it, but I'm also like, I don't know, is it really necessary? Like, I've already got
Mm.
what are your thoughts on that?
I think a Bachelor of Fine Art is a Bachelor of fuck all. I think you will be stuck in debt for so long unless you can fully pay off the debt, or you can shave some of the time off with
Yeah,
like life skills or whatever. I
yeah,
think
sure.
that whole 50K is just too much, and with the indexing of university,
Yeah, yeah. And
you'll
I,
forever be in the trap.
for sure. And I'm already in that trap. I've already got the hex set from my first degree, and I'm like, well, do I want to just go back and double that and then have to be even further in a hole?
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I mean, like, if anybody wants to educate themselves, like, they totally should. There's nothing wrong with
for
education.
sure,
I
for
just think that
sure.
if we had like a Gough Whitlam situation where they were just paying for it, like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
go for it. Like, I have nothing against art school. It's just more so, it's so hard to like even just get ahead and get a like stable housing these
Oh,
days, like
for
we were
sure.
discussing before, that,
Yeah,
you can learn these skills through like art classes and being in the
you're right.
community and
You're
through your
right.
own practice.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
internet is like huge,
It's
so
honestly all the information you need, everything that you could learn at uni is already at your fingertips, 100%. Yeah, I think it would be, I guess the prompting is kind of the main thing for me, but then it's like, well, yeah, you're paying tens of thousands of dollars just to kind of have someone to nudge you to learn. Um, and yeah, you can do that. You can do that on your own time. You don't need
Yeah.
art school. Mm,
Yeah. See, I was thinking about going back to uni. I've never been to uni, but I was thinking
yeah,
about going back to school or
yeah,
whatever and
yeah,
studying like art history.
yeah, yeah.
And
That'd
then
be
I was just like, I think I'm just going to save up and buy a place first. Like,
yeah,
and read
literally
some
get a
books while I do
house.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Just a little bit of self education.
Yeah. So we've been through your artistic style influenced by Ben Quilty. So can you
Yeah.
describe a creative process from conception to completion? How do you
Hmm.
approach a blank canvas? Sorry, it's a pretty jam-packed question.
Yeah, you're good. I was like, just had to quickly break that down in my mind.
So when you get a canvas, what is like, do you actually, even before you get a canvas, do you have
Mm-hmm.
like an idea in your head and you're like,
Mm,
okay,
mm,
I want it to be this size. You go to the
mm,
art shop store, you look at their
mm.
sizes.
Yeah, yeah. It always starts with a concept or an idea, or based off an experience or an interaction I have with someone, or with a dream of someone or something, where I'm like, oh, okay, this is something I could see coming to life on a canvas, and then sometimes it turns into a sketch. Sometimes just need to get started straight away, and I'll throw a bit of canvas up, or go to the art store and buy a couple, and then just kind of like, I guess, fumble my way through it, for lack of a better word, and just feel it out and see what feels right, and maybe do a sketch and figure out the dimensions and think, hey, this has got to go on this size canvas, or literally just throw something up on the wall that's kind of doesn't have strict boundaries, and just see what comes out, I suppose.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
I use a lot of layering in my work, so to kind of get to that final product of it looking really kind of robust and textural and completed. um there'll be kind of a lot of layers that go in underneath that final big stroke with the palette knife. So often, I'll have several pieces up in the studio at one time, and we'll just add, like, kind of go through in stages. Like almost all the paintings I've created in the last couple of years have been done in these mini series, where even if the two paintings are seemingly unrelated, they're commissions for two different people. If I'm making them at the same time, it's becoming this mini unknown series to everyone else, where I'm using the same color palettes, and I'm thinking about them in a similar way, and applying the same style, and trying to get similar effects of shine, or gloss, or flatness. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah, that all makes
kind of
sense.
stuff like
Yeah.
it.
No,
Mm,
it made me think about like when Monet would do his oil paintings
mm,
and when he would, this is obviously before he went blind, but like
yeah.
he would literally just work with a palette and a
Mm,
theme, and with your theme,
hmm.
obviously, like commissions for
Yeah.
people or whatever. And yeah,
Mm,
he would just make built off that like color palette and everything like that.
yeah.
And it's almost like this like little snippet of this time period. And it's
Yeah.
a series to you, and perhaps in the future, if you had like a retrospective or something, it would
Mm,
actually come across as like this is the gray tone period, or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
sad period, or the bright period. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I definitely can kind of see that in my own work, looking back now, and like seeing those patterns emerge, and being like, oh man, I really was not in a good headspace when I made, these particular works. And I'm looking at these things that I created for other people, and seeing how I've imprinted myself into them based on what I was feeling at the time. Yeah.
So what kind of works are you making now based on your emotions, would you say?
I'm using a really warm color palette at the moment, like these red ochres and kind of mustard yellows, and I guess like a pistachio kind of green. So it's like a lighter green. And I feel like I'm about to enter this transitionary phase where things are going to change, and the I guess my paintings are kind of reflecting that in a sense where they're depicting kind of all the a variety of different things, from flowers to portraits to human figures, but it's all in a way like forms this portrait of what I'm feeling, which is things are about to change. You know, the leaves on the plant in the flower pot are dying and about to fall off, and you know, or maybe it's a figure that I'm working on that's kind of looking off into the distance real dramatically, but it's all seems to be kind of yeah, around that idea of change and of fluidity, which is what the show that I'm working on at the moment is about. So yeah, those themes are, I guess, kind of becoming, kind of pushing through. I don't know how the color palette plays into that, but I just think it's lovely and nice, so I want to paint it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm.
Get it? And did you want to
Mm.
plug your art show?
So I'm having a show at Lonely's Bar on the 30th of September, which is a Saturday, and I'm going to be putting together a new body of work for that, in which the theme is fluidity, and I'm looking to kind of represent that with different forms of the human figure, and also with floral works, because I think that they are really fluid and transitionary. So I want to feature those. I'm also kind of around the idea of fluidity. I'm going to have kind of different forms of art there on the evening. So a big part of the exhibition is going to be spoken word poetry, and I've got four local poets who are going to come and speak, and there's going to be a bit of live music and maybe some projection art, and yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun night, I think.
Yeah, and Aaron's a really lovely host as well, the guy who
he,
runs the bar.
he's a great host. Yeah, he's been really good to work with. Hey, he's been very accommodating, and yeah, you know, is kind of happy to help me make whatever I want happen, which is can be a little bit particular and pedantic at times. So he's been really accommodating with that.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah,
nice. When I was at
yeah,
my friend's going away party
yeah,
and just really like off topic,
yeah.
I
That's
just thought
cool.
he was like the coolest dude that I'd met in like a
Oh yeah,
really long time. And he's like
yeah,
this old school grapher who like
yeah.
honestly his bar got shut down and then it got turned
Mhm,
into something else, the cafe
mhm,
or
mhm.
something. And then he was like, man, money's just money, I don't care. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my god, you are sick.
yeah.
Like
He's living that bohemian lifestyle. Like he just loves it. Hey, yeah, yeah. No, he's great. So
so
yeah, I'm really excited to have that there.
yeah, no, that's super exciting.
Mm.
Man, I haven't had a solo exhibition in 7 years. That shit is so draining.
Yeah, it is kind of exhausting. Hey, I'm trying not to think about it like a solo exhibition, because I'm like, that will suck the life out of me.
Yeah, true. Sorry.
So no, no, it's fine. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. You know, it's I want to feature the poets as well, and it's a big collaboration with them. So it's a group exhibition for all intents and purposes.
I love this. Okay, so
Yeah.
not a solo, is a group. Love it.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's all good. So many artists have rituals and routines that help them get into the creative mindset. Do you have any
hmm
habits or practices that aid you with your artistic process?
Mm, for sure. I think the first one that comes to mind is smoking a fat spliff, because that always just kind of hits the spot and gets me in the mood. But yeah, I guess I have like a little routine that I go through of, getting in my painting clothes and,
Yeah.
get tie my hair up and put the gloves on. And usually at the end of that, I feel ready to go, I guess. It's kind of
Mhm.
like, I don't know, putting the uniform on and um, getting in the right headspace with a spliff and a little bit of music usually does the trick. I did a painting for my last solo show at the end of last year, which was it was kind of like the you know central piece of the show, and it was kind of connected to it was the original piece that gave me the idea for this show Fluid Forms in a few weeks. And it's called Three's a Crowd, and it's essentially a scene showing these figures all kind of mashed and muddled and crushed into one another with all these limbs kind of flying all over the place. But it's done in this really kind of, I guess, reduced way where you can see a lot of the original sketching that I did, and there's lots of kind of exposed canvas. And I created the piece in a day about a week before the show, just kind of in this manic moment of this show needs something to tie everything together and really, really, I guess, bind everything. And I created this piece, and it's done across 9 panels, which are 40 centimeters each. And then that's all kind of brought together and framed on this MDF board. And yeah, it's just big and kind of fun, but I feel like it holds a lot of significance for me as well.
Yeah, it sounds like you needed to get something out.
Yeah, 100%. It was just full me projecting onto the canvas. A lot of the other pieces I did were, it was of someone I knew, someone that I loved, someone that I respected, or, I did, again, a lot of the floral pieces, which I really gravitate towards, but this one was something else. It was just kind of pure emotion and carnage happening on the canvas.
Hectic.
Mm,
I love that.
mm,
That's so good. And
thanks.
did you sleep really well after you did it?
So I did that particular piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually. I did. I
Yeah.
felt, yeah, it was kind of like, the last piece of the puzzle that fell into place for that show. So yeah, that's a funny question. And then like, because like right now, my sleep is horrible because there's a show coming up in a few weeks, and I'm like, it's all those classic anxieties around having a show kind of go through your mind. But it's, yeah, that moment which will come after this show is that like feeling of satisfaction and completeness with what you've been working on for so long.
Yeah. Well, if I can
Mm.
come to your show, if I'm not going to be away on this personal stuff, I'll
Hmm.
definitely be there.
Yeah, please do.
So-
Yeah, it'd be great. Hey,
and
that's
anyone
that's
else in Brisbane should come.
everyone else in Brisbane should come along. It's going to be great. But that's yeah, that's one maybe, and I'll take that. That's all I need for now. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, that's okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How old are you?
27.
27. Yeah, you are
Yep.
in that transitional period.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
I think your 20s are like, so I'm about
Mm.
to turn 30 in
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And your 20s are really strange because, like, in the beginning, you're like super excited and like, woo, I'm out of school, rah, 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 like I'm an
Yep.
adult now.
Yep.
And then comes like the soul crushing, like, oh my God, I'm an adult now. Like when you're 24,
Mm-hmm.
25, 26.
Mm. Mm.
And then when you hit 27, you're like, okay, I'm no longer going to get really like this time back. Like I
Mm.
need to
Mm.
really start focusing on what I should be. That was my experience of it
For
anyway.
sure. No,
You know,
I feel like that's 100% been the case for me. Like, I almost became a little bit jaded this year where I lost a bit of that sense of excitement, which was, 23 to 26, and it was also new and it was also novel, and the possibilities were kind of endless. And then this year I've been forced to, I guess, readjust and reflect on, okay, well, what do I really want out of this? Why am I doing this? I can't be purely motivated by excitement anymore. There's got to be something more that I'm working towards. And I've been, I guess, reflecting on working to figure out what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as I'm coming to that decision, it's going to lead to kind of all these changes in the future, which I don't know what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in there? And
Yeah. Please.
So
yeah.
One thing that I've learned over the past couple of months is that
Yeah.
you need to have like anchor points in your
Yeah.
life.
Sure.
You need to figure out what your core values are and what's important
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
If you don't have anchor points, that's when you get lost. And it's almost like you're just going through life without any purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
An anchor point could be something like ensuring that you're making art that's impactful for young people or whatever.
Sure.
You know, I think the other good thing would be is just practice lots of self-care while you're going through this period. Sorry, this got really deep really quick. But
no, please tell me.
But literally, like, practicing lots of self-care. Like, you know, if you think maybe you're smoking too much weed, maybe look into, is that a coping mechanism? You know,
well,
am I not doing it just to relax anymore? Am I doing it just to
well,
so I don't feel jaded?
For sure. And yeah, maybe you've hit the nail on the head there. And there are other things like that where I have been forced to reevaluate, or, you know, it's am I doing this because I enjoy it, or am I doing this because I feel like I need to do it? And that even applies to, I guess, my practice and my work in a certain sense. Is it, am I feeling compelled to do this? And if not, then why am I going to continue doing it? And when I say compelled, I just mean in like that physical sense of being bursting with creative energy and wanting to create lots of new pieces all the time and trying to cope with that. That's not always how I'm going to feel, and I'm not always going to want to do it, and it's not always fun. Like I feel like you must have gone through periods like that.
Dude, I've just come out of that period. I did not create things for like 2.5, 3 years. I like could not find the energy to create. It was not fun anymore. And that's why I set up this tarp behind me. Put like a little bloody Kmart fucking stand there and was just buying shit and just printing it out and just being like, I'm just going to go back to basics and just have fun.
Yeah,
because I need to play.
Just have fun with it. Yeah, just fuck around. Like that's with your question before about the process. I think to sum it up in a few words is it's just fucking around. Like whatever the order is or the sequences of buying things or putting things together, you know, there's kind of, I feel like it's got to have, for me, that element of it's new and it's interesting and I'm playing and I'm experimenting. I don't want it to be monotonous or mundane, which is kind of goes against a lot of, I guess, what you're told to think as an artist in terms of practicing and using repetition and developing a method. But I think the fucking around is as important as all of those things, if not more.
Sounds to me like you want to just be curious. You want to fuck around and find out. You know?
Well, and I think as an artist who hasn't been to uni, you can appreciate that because, I mean, there was nobody that like taught me how to paint. It was just trial and error and just trying something and it not turning anything how I wanted it to look, and then just trying again and trying something different and not being too worried about what the final result is going to be.
Yeah, I love that. All right, well, we're going to jump off this really deep subject, if that's okay.
That's okay. Let's move
I'm gonna
on.
go into some lighter things.
Okay, let's do it.
So how do you balance the business side of being an artist, such as marketing, selling your work, with the creative aspect of painting? How do you find business and art?
Yeah, yes, yeah, business, the light stuff. It's I think trying to separate the part of me that wants it to be enjoyable, and then the part of me that knows that some days I've just got to get to work, and that I've just got to treat it like a job. And if that means that I've got to be my own marketing person, or publicist, or uh, agent, or representative, or whatever, whichever role is gonna help me reach more people and spread my art further, then I've just got to, on days, buckle down and do that, and
Yeah.
treat it like a job. It kind of fucking sucks sometimes, but that is the life of an unrepresented artist. And the silver lining is that all the bullshit admin and stuff that you've got to do to make your career happen, it makes me excited about painting, because I'm like, oh, finally I get to do what I'm actually doing. I get to do the actual thing, which is painting. So it's just finding ways to enjoy it and rationalize doing the work in your mind, like whatever you've got to tell yourself to do, however you've got to convince yourself to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I can tell you, I got an agent and he did fucking nothing for me.
Yeah, no one's going to represent your art as well as you are, right?
Yeah. I mean, he tried a lot of things, and I still have a lot of love for him, but
Yeah,
it's not like, it wasn't like a full push like I thought it would have been,
yeah, like you thought that he would perhaps kind of project you into the next level, or
No, because like they're representing like 100 people, 50 people, whatever.
yeah,
And
right,
so,
yeah,
they can't always spend. And when it's like a constant
no,
no from like publishing houses or whatever, or whatever it
yeah,
is,
yeah,
then they can get a little bit frustrated with it. And you're like, okay,
yeah,
cool. I learned a few things, like how to
yeah,
format emails to these people and whatever.
sure,
But yeah, don't worry about getting an agent. I don't really do very much. And my friend
no,
who is actually a writer in
yeah,
America, he's quite
yeah,
a big like writer. He has an
yeah.
agent, and he told me his agent doesn't do anything either. So
Seems to be a common theme, hey?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and
cut out the middleman.
that's
You know what I mean?
just cut out the middleman. What are they really doing for you that you can't do yourself? If you don't know how to write emails, just go. You don't even have to
Go
Google it. You
on
can
Chat
freaking go
GTP.
on
They'll
Chat
show you.
GPT, get the AI to write it for you. Like, you don't have to do
Yeah,
anything yourself anymore.
yeah,
The AI can be your agent. Just
yeah.
yeah.
But I will say, if there's anything that legal comes up, do not fuck around and find out. Just get
Okay.
a fucking lawyer.
Just get a lawyer.
Just
Don't
get a
don't screw
lawyer.
around. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, I don't want to fuck around with any of that kind of bullshit. I actually studied law at uni, so that was kind of my the thing that I'm trying to avoid doing at all costs is that.
Yeah, perfect. I love
Yeah.
this. I did not study law at uni, so I'm fucking around and finding out.
No, I wouldn't. I would honestly, and like I feel like in this situation, people might be like, "Oh, that's so sick. You could be your own lawyer," but I would be the world's worst lawyer. So why the fuck would I do it? Like, there's a reason why I didn't pursue that as a career. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be reading any contracts or anything. I would definitely much rather pass that on to someone else. But I don't even know. Yeah, I guess that would come along with representation, or something like that with a gallery, right? If you're getting contracts,
Yeah,
or
or if
someone sues you.
yeah, or if
Yeah,
someone, or you need to sue someone for copyright, or if
true. Yeah,
were going into a branding deal, a licensing deal with somebody for a matter of like, number of years, and you
Yeah,
wanted to
sure,
last
sure.
things.
Yeah,
Um,
just get a lawyer to
I
look
mean,
over it.
there's a whole, I mean, yeah,
There's a whole
there's
heap
a
of stuff. See, I don't even know. Like, what good was all that? Was 7 years of study? I don't even know. You know more than I do.
I've read a lot of contracts though, so.
Yeah, well, there you go. You're far more experienced than
But
I
see,
am.
I'm more of a commercial artist than you are. You're more of a
Yeah,
fine
sure.
artist, whereas
Yeah.
like
Mm.
my come up was
Hmm.
being commercial. So
Yeah. Yeah.
now I'm like, I want to be more fine art. Like I'm over the
Yeah.
bullshit
Okay.
business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that's kind of, and I guess there's that business bullshit and everything, but I get that that was one thing that drew me away from doing murals, for example, because there's a lot of that. There's so many commercial jobs going around, and you got to jump through all those hoops to please clients and do all the business. And yeah, that's not what I want to spend all my time doing.
So if you could be represented by anybody in Brisbane, who would it be? Or any gallery in Australia?
Anyone in Brisbane, I don't know. Hey, I've actually been going around to the galleries in Brizzy recently and just getting a bit of a feel for them. And there hasn't really been anywhere where I've been like, hey, I could see myself being in here. I kind of feel at home. I do really love Jan Murphy, who represent Ben Quilty, but they are, I don't know. It's fine art. It's fine. Like it's just feels like that would be further down my career kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for where I am right now, there hasn't really been anyone that's really jumped out at me, which is why I haven't necessarily been actively pursuing it yet. Because when I started thinking about representation being something that I wanted, that question came up where I was like, oh shit, well, who would I want to be represented by? And I don't know. When I find that person, I will harass them and I'll ask over and over
And be
until
at every show.
be at every show, literally be at every show, be like, hey, it's me, I'm here again. Um, no, maybe in a more subtle way, but yeah, I'll find my way in one way or another, but I just don't know who that person is yet. If they're
Yeah.
out there, if they're listening, let me know.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Yeah, you can contact Zaide.
you
There's a
you
contact
can
in the show notes. So
Yeah,
you just
exactly. You can contact me. Maybe that would be nice.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
because I do really love your work, and I think it is like it
Oh,
has the capability to be in like most galleries in Brisbane,
mm,
you know.
thanks. Mm.
Just never doubt yourself, brother. Just like,
Yeah, it's the doubt. The doubt is back. It's the wanting to repeat my intro doubt has returned, and it's turned into gallery doubt now. But
no, but it's also like, I understand what it's like. You don't want to come across as like narcissist who is like, no, I'm the
no,
best. I should be in every gallery. Like, I
yeah,
totally get that. You're a
mm,
person who's like constantly thinking, you seem like you're very emotionally intelligent. Like,
mm,
you don't, you know what I mean? Like, that there's ways in which you can improve, and you're not yet
mm-hmm,
at that Jan Murphy level, but you
exactly.
haven't reached the starting gallery yet.
No, no, I haven't found that starting person yet.
But
But
I would like to say, though, I was talking to a
yeah,
friend of mine, I'm not going to say who, and he was
okay.
getting out of his gallery representation.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, from what I remember, he was
Yeah,
like, I was like, why would you do that? That's like every artist's dream to be
yeah,
represented
yeah,
by a gallery. And he was like, dude,
yeah,
it was too limiting. He was like, I
yeah,
couldn't do what
yeah,
I wanted whenever
yeah.
I wanted. I had to
No,
like constantly go past the curators, like, and
yeah,
he just didn't
sure.
like it
Yeah,
anymore after like a
yeah.
couple of years. So,
And I've 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 heard similar kind of stories to that, and it's definitely something, autonomy is something that I really, really value at the moment, and is definitely another reason why I haven't really been actively pursuing it, because I feel like I'm still discovering exactly what kind of artist I want to be and how I want to represent myself, and painting the same thing over and over again does not really appeal to me. So I feel like at the moment I don't fit into the box that galleries are looking for. But I know there's all different kinds of arrangements that can happen with galleries, and I think it comes back to that thing of just finding the right person to work with and finding someone who's going to be happy with an arrangement that works for you. But there's always kind of pros and cons about it. Hey, they're going to take a big cut and tell you what to do, so you've just got to decide if that's something that you want, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Bro, it sounds like you should just open up your own gallery, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Sounds like a lot of admin. Hey.
Yeah, but that's why you get like grants and shit, and you like employ
I
people.
know, I know. Well, that's why I need some staff. I need a freaking agent or someone who's gonna do all that stuff for me.
Yeah, just don't get interns and not pay them. I find that
Don't get.
really strange in Australia.
It's such bullshit. Unpaid work is no. That's not something that I advocate
Especially when
for
it's
whatsoever.
already in the arts and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're already not getting paid anything. Like, you don't need to exacerbate it by not paying the people you employ. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know how to open a gallery. That's something that I would feel like is later down the track. Like, what would I even do? Just I don't even want to start thinking
no,
about that.
that's
That sounds
okay. I was
stressful.
sorry.
That sounds so
No,
stressful.
no, okay, we'll
But
go on to something nice. Don't worry. So,
no. I appreciate though. I think it's I see the value in it, and like the idea of having my own space like that is definitely tantalizing, and it's something I've daydreamed about. But yeah, just right now, hey,
yeah,
yeah,
Tracy Emin, who's like my favorite artist ever,
yeah,
um, she opened up her own school and she
yeah,
has like
cool,
her own gallery space and stuff. And I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and I think it's in Brighton, and where
cool,
she's from.
yeah,
And I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I was an
yeah,
artist living in Brighton. Like,
yeah. With my own gallery, like,
and just like hang
yeah,
out and just be like, I went to Tracy Emin school, like,
yeah. That'd be pretty glamorous. I don't know. I'm not familiar with her work. What is like?
so
Does she do
she's
collage as well?
a little bit like she
Or a
does
little
more
bit, yeah,
like fabric collages, but
yeah.
she did my bed, which was the bed with the it was an installation at Saatchi or something. And
Hmm.
anyway, it was a bed that she had slept in for like a week.
Yeah,
And she's really well known for her neon signs as well, like the
yeah.
cursive neon signs.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, you're looking her up.
I'm looking her up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I disappear
No,
or
you're
something?
all good. No, no. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, she's fucking sick. She's like, I think she's one of the coolest
Oh
chicks
yeah.
ever. And she also
Yeah.
did my
Yeah.
tent, which burnt down, and her
Yeah.
tent named all of her lovers and all these
Mhm.
people, and they were
Mhm.
mostly like men who were pigs,
Yeah.
and just like a really sick, like I don't know. She just talks a lot about her experiences and stuff. I love her. I think she is
Yeah.
like
Cool.
incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
I'm just laughing because like I could just talk about her forever. Like,
yeah. It's funny how like yeah, your inspirations or those people for you kind of like how Ben Quilty is that for me. Like I feel like I could talk about him and his career easier and longer than I could talk about myself. It's just like, this person, they do something that is so incredible, and I want to talk about this with everyone.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. You got to just like channel that into you. I think you need to get like a journal and do some like exploring.
Yeah, I should do journaling. That's yeah, I really definitely. It's something I've dabbled with sporadically, but never committed to.
Hey, you don't even have to commit to it. You can do it sporadically. You could just
You're
have
right.
like,
You're right.
it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Yeah, I need to. You're right. I need to stop sensationalizing it and making it that it needs to be this big thing or that it needs to be a habit and just do it when I feel compelled to.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like even if like you're before you go to bed, if you're like, oh, actually, instead of sitting on my phone and doom scrolling for like 2 hours, I'm actually going to
Yeah.
spend 10 minutes
Mhm.
writing in a journal and exploring these inner dialogues and thoughts.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
can tell I work in therapeutic childcare or not
Yeah.
childcare, child protection, because
That's
that's
yeah.
like literally
You
what I
mentioned
talk
that.
about all day.
That's I want to ask you more about it, but I don't know if that's like
Oh, you can ask
appropriate
me about it
topic of
afterwards. We're
conversation.
talk
You can ask
we're
about it
talking
afterwards.
about
Okay.
me now. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
mean, talk about you now. Sorry.
right. No, we're actually talking about me. Let's
No, we're actually
let's
talking
flip the
about
script.
me. All right. So what do you hope people take away from experiencing your art? Is there a message or a feeling you aim to evoke in your audience?
I think the message or feeling, it's 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 fluid for lack of a better word. It varies and changes, but I think something that I desire and seek is just that connection, which is somebody sees the work and it resonates with them, whether it's because it's dark and drab and a bit macabre, or because it's warm and bright and invokes some kind of sense of joy. Like whatever that emotion is, I want to be able to convey that to people and have that reach people, and not just people who know about art, but people who would say they don't know about art, which is lots of people. And those are often my favorite people to connect with through my work, because I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of special. You're it's like you're taking someone's art virginity. That's a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean. Like it's that if you can be that point of contact for somebody who had maybe thought that they didn't understand art or they'd never really connected with art, I think that's a really, really special thing to experience.
Yeah. What was
Mm.
that experience like for you? That sounds like it was a really profound. Do you remember the first time or when you had your art virginity taken away?
When I had my virginity taken away, it was it's a kind of obscure memory, but it's I'm in primary school. I'm maybe 7 or 8 years old, and we're doing art class or something, and one of the other kids, I couldn't tell you who to save my life, but one of the other kids has done a painting. We're all painting Banksias, and one of the kids has just done it in this like really weird, different way, and I still remember exactly how that painting of this yellow Banksia that we all did looked, and how it was so different from everyone else's. And I was like, well, that's cool. I'm gonna try to do that next time. I'm gonna, you know, try and seek out that thing that's a little bit obscure and a little bit different. So yeah, it was a nameless kid from my grade, I don't know, 3 or 4 art class, who just did this really lovely painting of a Banksia that is like, for some reason, one of my core memories.
Yeah, can I give you some insight right to that?
Sure, please.
So that memory that you have
Mm-hmm.
of, I call you Zadie, but it's Zaide. But
Zaide, yeah.
yeah,
You can call me Zaide if you like.
I
Some
call
people
you
call me
Zadie.
Zaide. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
allowed.
So that's like little Zadie inside of you, right? That's like
Right.
your anchor point, dude.
Right. Okay, sure. That's an
That
anchor
is your
point. I
anchor
see
point.
that. I understand that. Yep.
No, totally. Like if you're looking for
Yeah,
anything, it's right there.
that's something. Yeah. So what do I?
You
Yeah, with little
explore little
Zadie.
Zadie and you
Okay.
see what little Zadie needs. Like if you're
Mhm.
feeling really upset that
Mhm.
you're not making anything or things that coming across like how they should or whatever,
Mhm.
or if you've got like writer's block or whatever, you just need to
Mhm.
channel little Zadie and be like, yo, we're just gonna fucking chill and we're
Yeah,
just
we're just
gonna
gonna
make
chill.
something weird
Yeah.
and think about Banksia.
Yeah. Think about weird Banksias, which I'd still paint. I still paint weird Banksias. I'm painting a weird Banksia right now for this show, Fluid Forms. So yeah. Oh, no, that's my anchor point just coming through when I haven't even known what an anchor point is.
Yeah, nice.
Mm,
See, this is incredible.
mm, mm,
So the art world can be competitive and challenging to navigate. What advice
hmm
do you have for emerging artists looking to establish themselves?
I don't know. Hey, what advice? What am I telling someone? How am I trying to motivate someone? I feel like a lot of young. Were you going to say something? What do you
I
think?
was going to say, just think of what you would say to yourself when you were starting. If you could go back
Mm,
in time and you could give yourself advice, what would it be?
I don't know. I feel like what I would want to say is maybe different from what I would want to hear, if that makes sense.
That's okay. Sometimes advice isn't what we want to hear.
That's true. That's true. Oh,
Like if you're truly being a good friend, sometimes the best advice is the worst advice that they don't want to
yeah, that's
know.
true. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably be like, yeah, if I was being like a true friend and I was calling myself out, I'd be like, you need to just cool your jets a bit, son. You just need to approach this with a more level head, um, and really, really think about why you're doing this and why you're getting into this, because it's not all gonna be all novelty, and not as a way of, I guess, deterring myself from doing it, but being like, hey, this is going to be a lot of a lot of work and a lot of devotion, and you better be ready for that. And if you are, then good. But it's you know, get ready to do the work.
Yeah,
Mm,
no bullshit.
no bullshit. Yeah.
We're kind of coming to the end now.
hmm
Um, we've plugged your exhibition coming up, but is
hmm
there anything else that you'd like to talk about that you're excited with, like a project
mm,
or collaboration?
mm,
Or do you have like anything coming out on your storefront?
mm, mm. Um, Yeah, so I've been focusing obviously a lot of my time and energy on the upcoming exhibition. Aleha, my housemate, and I are planning another group show for the end of the year, which we are is still in its infancy, but we're really excited about because that was kind of we started with the group shows and we haven't actually done one this year, so we're going to do a big one to kind of exactly end the year and yeah, just have a big blowout and have all our friends there and
Fuck
everyone
yeah.
who in Brisbane who loves art and yeah, just display some epic art and have a great big fat party.
Yeah, nice. And where was that
Mm.
happening at? I think I missed that. Did you say where it was happening?
The group show? No,
Mhm.
to location to be confirmed.
TBC. Okay, cool.
TBC. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Yeah,
still
nice.
still kind of in the planning phases. We've got a few spots. It will very likely be in West End though. We'll keep it local.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And yeah, and can artists apply, or are you guys just seeking them out? What's the go with that?
Yeah, artists will definitely be able to apply. It'll be a blend of both. We'll put a call out, and there'll probably be a few artists that we reach out to as well. But yeah, keep an eye out for that on our A to Z Instagram. for any artists who would potentially be interested in being involved. We've already had a couple of messages, which is just, I don't know, really nice seeing people that kind of want to be involved with what we're doing. So yeah, just trying to grow the community in Brisbane a little bit more.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now that the borders have opened, the community's kind of fluctuated a little bit, I feel. Everyone's
Yeah,
traveling again.
everyone's traveling. Yeah, you're right. It was interesting during COVID because everyone that was here, and the people that were here wanted to make something happen, and people weren't really looking elsewhere. Everyone was really kind of focused on what was happening here, and yeah, it's just part of that transitionary phase that the whole city, country, world seems to be going through right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have the trauma from COVID though, so
Yeah.
never forget her, you know?
No. Yeah. No.
Look,
It's gonna
I
be.
can't help but laugh. Yeah.
I know. It's like, oh, is this gonna be like the defining quality of our generation's history? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? But yeah.
Yeah. Well, Zadie, it was
Yeah.
You
No,
go,
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I do love a lot of the art that's come out of COVID though. A lot of the COVID specific related art, I think is a lot of it's really smart and interesting, and there's just a lot of great observations that people have kind of made about the world during that time.
Yeah, like what? What's an example of that?
I think the idea of like connectivity and community, and how you can band together with people even if you're not physically present with them, and how our relationships with people kind of transcend time and space, and they persist through all kinds of setbacks and undesirable things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, shit. I've just gone dissociated and just gone straight back to fucking COVID.
We're back. It's
We're
happening
back.
again. No.
It's like that meme, like Akira, and it's like, no.
Yeah. Oh my god, stop. I love pyramids. Classic. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the potty. You are a ledge. And
Of course. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
Thanks for
check out
having me.
Zadie's stuff. No, you're good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, check it out.
If you liked this episode, you can share, rate on your listening app, or follow me on Instagram. This episode was produced, recorded, and edited in Menjin, Brisbane. 1-800-MAD-BUTT would like to pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Thank you.